the biggest Achilles heel for Legion is that when Water's on Brigitte, Water is a target for other teams. The secret is out. You focus Water first because Water tends to try and get aggressive with Brigitte and make plays, and usually if you can get Water down, the rest of the Legion follows right after. But as we move into 2-2-2, probably gonna be a lot more Genji from Water.
So Legion rolling out here on this Somber Goat strategy. Wolf on the Moira, so a very aggressive look for Legion right now. They're looking to try to set up this engagement. Phase 2, though, mirroring that. Playing a very similar comp. It is the mirror matchup. And both squads just going to be looking to run into each other so you can find who they can find the isolate.
Fair positioning early on Phase 2, and to work their way out of the low ground. Nishik already pretty low. Start things out here, but Stand one under pressure. Getting very good support, and Rulf following through, takes down his counterpart. However, Phase 2 get the first flip. Legion somehow let that occur. Of course, winning first fight is better than getting first capture. However, we'll see how long Phase 2 can hold. And Phase 2 push off the point and turn, so only 8% given.
And now going to be cleaned up here. I mean, the fight is over. It looks like they're actually going to commit, though. Phase 2, they pop the Primal, but Water, he's already dropped the rally here. And with the flip going the way of Legion, they've gone the flip. They've won the first fight. So good position to be in for Legion. They're going to be moving to this next fight with the EMP. They have Coalescence quite early. I think that you don't want to necessarily drop this EMP early. You'd rather do the Coalescence. But it's really up to them because also they did use that rally. So it's going to have to sustain through A10's coming EMP.
Holding the high ground right now. A10 gonna drop the EMP. Phase 2 as they try and take this back, and even though Legion take the business end of an EMP, all through isn't there. They still have an EMP of their own, but Dalton gets chased down. Will be an EMP coming out for Legion now. Legion though still in control of the point. Stand one gonna pop the Primal by a little bit of extra time, and Legion can potentially delay this until Dalton is back. Flutie drops speed.
The beat is out, and for right now for Legion, they need to try to find a target. They need to get the isolation of someone in Dance. He's so low. The bomb is out for Pika. Can they clean him up? The answer is no. The EMP is out, but can they find any of these frags?
Dalton comes back in, and the EMP more than enough for the Legion to get the last few eliminations here. They maintain control of the point. It does not get flipped. And now Phase 2 going to be down to their final fight here on the Village.
Phase 2 just not able to convert. I mean, it was a good early isolation onto Dalton, a good engage, but they just could not win that fight on point, which is something they should be doing. When they're running this Reinhardt, the Reinhardt should be really owning the point in comparison to Stand 1 on the Winston. You should be having a lot better focus, a lot more damage mitigation. Dalton just watching them pass them by.
Stand out last week, early Pika set the stage, and again, Dan's knocks down 3. Just as I'm giving him props, he lives up to what I was about to say. So thank you, Dan. You made me look smart.
Now Phase 2, utilizing that shatter, also dropping the beat there. Getting the entry. They will get the flip now, but they have to play perfect. They have a perfect defense throughout the rest of this. Already 99% for Legion, who could just play eco. This next fight for Legion, I'm literally just looking to remove the EMP from A10. Just lose that fight and come back in with your own.
EMP going to be crucial to this next fight for Phase 2. They have a little bit of point pressure going on right now. Let's see who's on point. I think it was A10 right now, going back to the other side, holding on to EMP. Basically just looking for the best defensive EMP opportunity. EMP can be dropped. It's 3 on the Legion, as well as a hack on the Dalton. Dalton's out of it.
Well, with EMP rally used, the fight should be over. Legion, they should just die, get out, try to evacuate as fast as possible, and that's exactly what they're doing.
I'm on fire.
And now it's Legion's turn. It's Legion's turn to move into this point. They have EMP. They can just look for the engage. Especially if they're able to catch Nishik. If they can catch Nishik here with this EMP, finish him off quite early, that's all of the sustain, a lot of the healing gone for Phase 2.
Phase 2, one more big fight to go. It's going to be a very difficult one at that. You just set the terms. See what Dalton does with the EMP, A10. Counterpart hiding to the other side. And Dalton immediately using the EMP, direct on the Dans, and Dans just melted down directly. The main target from Legion, and they connect. Legion get the reflip. Bomb here onto point. Bomb not buying as much space. Email can drop the bomb as well. Says, seems like a good idea. And the Legion just throw Phase 2 off of the point, and round 1 is theirs.
Good eco push for Legion there. I mean, they knew that they have plenty of time to just lose the fight. As long as they remove the EMP, they're going to be much better position for the following fight. That's exactly what they do. They hit the targets. Even if they don't catch Nishik there, they still have enough focus fire to finish down the other players on Phase 2. So the first round going the way of Legion. As we get here into Sanctum. Probably going to see a little bit of a swap off. It's unlikely that you're going to see Moira on Sanctum because Moira really requires you to be playing around the point. And playing around the point continuously on Sanctum sort of just offers up the invitation to just get poked.
So Legion doing a full swap here to a 3-3 setup with Winston. Phase 2, much the same. It's all going to come down to initiation here, particularly which Winston gets more cleave value, gets an early primal. But at the same note, you don't want to overextend and die early. Stand 1, almost feeling that they're very far forward.
What a!
Into the pit you go! And the Legion, that is one good way to start a fight.
Left will find one in return, but get cleaned up. And with that double boop, as soon as those barriers are used on that pillar side, it's boop time. It's boop time for the Lucio. It's where you want to be looking. And with those 2 early frags, that's going to be the flip going the way for Legion. Now phase 2 going to have to re-enter here onto the point, look to set up, disengage. And the defensive team always has a great hold. It's so tough to get through these chokes at times.
Legion not fully holding up the choke point, giving phase 2 some room to move in, but they're getting poked out immediately from the other side into the archway. Water and stand 1 there, and just 2 down immediately. Very good pressure from Legion. Forces phase 2 back.
Stand 1 will go down, but it's fine. He commits his life to continue to get these dire kills. They're actually going to trance.
What?
They're going to trance. I think they trance there to keep A10's energy alive. I think that's their whole plan, but it's not really a great trade. You're going to get energy entry to this point anyways. I don't think that trade is worth it. Now they're going to have to walk into Dalton's grab with no Transcendence. What already have to do with the geometry of potentially getting split here on the doors.
I mean, unless A10 ends up getting 4 kills here, I'm going to say that your assessment is right. This is a really difficult situation for phase 2. They really could have used the Transcendence. A10 going to drop the grab, and it's eaten! Hey, grab completely smothered by Emo on the other side. And stand 1 just juggling back here.
Now that was almost a disaster for grab for Dalton. He sort of misshoots it there, but luckily that it brings Dan back in. And with Emo eating that grab, now phase 2, they've lost their grab. They've lost a lot of time here in the bank. They still don't have Transcendence either. Legion, they don't have to feel any fear, I should say, because they have double support when A10 doesn't have grab. They can look to be very aggressive here.
Self-destruct by Pika, trying to make any space here. Phase 2 and connects! Phase 2.
And the trance comes out so late. This is definitely probably the worst possible fight here for Legion.
Yeah, I mean, for Legion, it would be better than just let it one go. Instead, no Transcendence. And, okay, looting and get Nishik into the pit. Not quite enough for Legion to swarm onto the point to prevent the cap, though.
Still, though, when you look at the control bank for Legion, it's one fight territory. Phase 2, they're going to have a perfect defense from here on out. They are getting close once again to the Transcendence and grab, and there's no Transcendence for Wolf. So a lot of this really going to be, can they find value from this grab early?
Legion biding their time on the re-engage, 97%. Phase 2 needing to be perfect, and this is where you look to dance. This is the map and moment that you want your Winston to have a great primal, to give you a big boost. They're going to open up the Graviton instead, and I can't
onto
really,
who? Onto the grab, onto
like
who?
They got anyone there. So Dan's is down, or Dalton is down on the
Might have
other
been
side.
Dalton.
I think it was Dalton. Dan's popping the primal right now, just staying on the point. Legion not challenging it. So, okay, solo grab onto Dalton, or so we think. And that's enough to buy time.
Time has been bought, but at the cost of now you don't have grab. You had to invest other ults like your primal into that fight for phase 2. And Wolf has Transcendence. They have grab. There's a real chance they don't have to fear anything. They really can just look for aggressive initiation.
Into the pit.
Oh, bye-bye water, though.
Left. We get the early pick off there. Gonna let phase 2 get even more time. Graviton in from Dalton. As Emo drops the bomb right down Broad Street. We dealt with by phase 2. Phase 2 still completely okay after those ultimates get thrown in. Now it's getting really grim for the Legion. They just threw a lot into this fight, and they haven't had as much result as they want. But left, a little bit deep.
Right now, they can't lose anyone to the bomb, and they need to try to win this fight before A10 gets another grab. A10 60% already. As Starks gets the rally, Starks is down. That's a huge pick by Water.
Meanwhile, the point has been flipped by the Legion. Legion were able to flip while phase 2 is fighting on the sides. Phase 2 losing member after member here.
Oh, bashed out a beat. Bye-bye left. And that's going to be the round. That's going to be the first map going the way of Legion. And Water definitely making some opening moves there in those final seconds.
And even though we brought it up in the opening as well, Water, I think, we'll see. It was the first map, but Water wasn't getting picked early as often as we're used to, where there's a possibility that some adjustments have been made, where I think coming from a player that usually plays a very aggressive DPS style where you kind of have to be in a Genji, Brigitte is a hero where generally Water's gone a little bit over aggressive, but he was reined in a bit here on Nepal.
So that's going to be first map going the way of Legion, and it was close at times, but definitely phase 2 struggling to close out there. They really struggled to get the first flip, to win the first fight, and for Control, when the game mode is so momentum-based, losing the first fight and the first flip, it means that you have to work at such a mountain. You have to climb that mountain in terms of ult charge, in terms of the control bank there, and even if phase 2 were able to get flips later on, they just couldn't have the perfect defense from there on out.
No, not at all. Also, I mean, it was kind of a low game for A10 and Dan. It's not that they were playing badly per se, but when phase 2 is done well, it's usually been those two, or at least one of those two, consistently having good moments, and it just, neither was really standing out in the way that they usually do. Meanwhile, Legion, they shored up one of their weaknesses, and that, again, as mentioned, Water, able to avoid early pickoffs, and as a result, Legion looked a lot stronger, more composed. Emil also looking more meshed with Legion than I think he really has throughout most of the season, where of course Emil got brought in from Angry Titans. So, good first showing here for the Legion. We'll see if they can keep it up as we move into Assault.
So we're getting ready for both squads to get into our second map. Getting ready to get into our Assault. Here once again is going to be Paris. And Legion, I think they can be happy about this result on Control, but it still wasn't extremely conclusive by any means, right? In phase 2, they still were able to make it close at times. And Control is sometimes a game mode where reality is that if you don't win first fight, if you don't get that momentum early, it definitely makes it very hard to really execute.
Control is definitely the map where, unless a team has a Fusion Uni type reputation of just always winning Control, and that's why they win series, Control can have the ability to sort of be misleading on the other maps as you get into them, where just because you win Control, as you say, does not necessarily mean you're going to have the same result on the next few game modes, which play considerably different to Control across the board. But I don't know. Based on what we saw there, I actually think the Legion are still going to be pretty good as we head into Paris. Just, they've been doing better in the neutral. The ult usage has been better. And the one X factor has been sort of, can you stop Water from getting focused? And they were able to do that in Control, which is usually one of the areas where if a player is overextending, they're going to get punished the most.
So both squads getting ready here on Paris. Currently up 1-0 for Legion. And remember, this is a very important matchup because even though with Square One's loss, it's unlikely that either squad is going to lose their playoff spot. It's about the seeding. It's about the seeding now, who's playing for 6th, 5th place respectively between these two squads. As phase 2, they're going to be on this offense first. Legion on the defense. See Legion playing sort of a bunker setup. Solo heal with Lede on that Mercy. And with Water on the mate, it means they're really looking to deny the dive, try to get the poke with Dalton's Ash, and maybe some of those hook ult combos, but not a lot of sustain. So Lede sort of the weak point.
Dalton's Ash, hailing back to the days where you used to see Dalton on hit scan all the time, and likely days we'll be seeing again soon.
Phase 2, seeing this composition now, gonna bring out the double sniper, have Nishik on that Xin with the bunker of their own, but rather Pika on the Diva. Are they making some more swaps here? I think they're taking some time to get to the choke, and that's exactly what they are doing. They're gonna go triple DPS.
Dalton immediately finding Widow, combination of Dynamite and a little bit of left click to go along with it. Forces out the res here, and I really like the setup here for Legion on the defense. In particular, phase 2, well, okay, now that I said that stand 1 is down, but they're going to drop the wall, and the wall covers the res. Stand 1 back in it.
There's still Legion can sustain through this fight, though, with Sox finding another pick now with Dalton with the hit scan gone. This means Sox has free reign. The DPS for phase 2 have free reign to move about the map. It's so tough for Legion to get any sort of this to stop the triple DPS threat now. Without Dalton there to pressure to get the counter snipes, they sort of have to give up the ground and just wait. I think they're going to try to recontest. They're still close in this point.
I mean, the one downside of the composition is that, as you say, with Dalton down, what are you going to do? Hope for May to shoot the Pharah out of the air with icicles? It can happen, but not very likely.
Love it though, he's dropped the Valve. He's trying to pick out the Mercy. You see right there, he's going for it. He's going for the resin. Left. He goes down to Emil, but then Sox takes down Lade, and that heal's gone. I think that was,
be stopped.
It was an overstep.
Sox got the early pickoff to put them in the situation. Gets the follow through onto the point. This has been phenomenal Pharah play. That's about to be swapped. That's why he did the barrage.
Phenomenal, but also sort of uncontested.
Yeah.
I mean, you had free spam, and I have to say, I don't agree with Lade's choice. It was to go for the Valk and go for the try to finish off left there with his pistol. It's one of those situations where does it look really flashy when Mercies are able to get a lot of frags, and can it turn a fight? Yes. But Valkyrie, the value you get from Valkyrie is just insane. And especially when in a position where they were already struggling to hold on to the point. They needed that heal. Lade is the only healer there, and he was busy pistoling.
A10 on the Widow, so close to a pick on Lade, which would have made this next fight so much easier for Phase 2. Phase 2 deciding to go for the offensive Torbjorn. A little bit of clockwork in him here as A10 finds stand 1. Now the Resurrection's going to be up there, so it's not as decisive, but it gives Phase 2 room to move.
Oh!
Pika with the Dragon! And Legion is getting picked apart.
Dalton is going to find one. The bomb is out. No one is going to go down for it right now. So Legion, they're slowly but surely getting picked off here on the choke. The res is available too. And this is really good for Phase 2. Even losing one, they're still in a great spot. They're still in a great spot to get the point pressure they need. They just need to finish these frags very early.
We have the Supercharger here on point. And this has been a complete and total collapse by Legion X. However,
Dalton
the
saved
respawns,
it.
Dalton brings it back. And that might be enough where you have the Ham install coming in. Gives more time for Dalton to bring things back.
Now if I'm Phase 2, I think I want to swap. You see Legion's composition. They put water onto the Genji. He gets a good, clean reflect there. This is definitely a swap time for Phase 2. At the very least, you get rid of the Torb. If they want to commit on this, I don't think it's right. No, they're not going to commit on this. So they're going full 3-3 here. And Legion going to make some swaps, going to go for the mirror. They'll keep roll from the Ana. They will keep roll from the Ana. Okay, no,
nope.
They're not. Okay.
The full mirror.
The full mirror. Not a half mirror, but a full mirror.
No half measures. That's what we're getting here. Phase 2. Going to be directly going to high ground, and Legion goes, okay, have it. Phase 2 still going even deeper, and Pika takes on stand 1 as a prize. No res up this time. Full advantage up here to Phase 2. They get a chance to heal up, and Legion again find themselves in a really tough spot. Water, too deep, picked off. Phase 2, not having to worry about the Rod, not having to worry about the Brigida. This is just easy cleanup at this point.
Especially as long as they keep Nishik alive for Phase 2, they can slowly but surely win the fight. Legion, they don't have any ult just yet. The rally, that's it for Sox. Now A10 just walking around, finishing off the players as he sees them, and there's really no way for Legion to win this fight. Even if they got a pick right now, if they don't pick out A10, they just don't have the damage. They don't have anything that they need.
That's 20 seconds left, and Phase 2 gonna finish things out. Just one pick off leading to another there. And not bad from Phase 2.
Pretty fast time bank for Phase 2, making it work with their swaps. And Legion just losing that early pickoff is definitely just really the key factor. It's the X factor there. Losing water that early means that Phase 2 in a fight where they're mostly ult neutral can just walk in without fear. Their front line is just so free in that scenario. Legion now going to be on this offense, likely probably going to run a triple DPS setup. We'll have to see. It has had a lot of success for a lot of teams here on Paris First. Try to equalize these time banks.
So 5 seconds till we get our first peek at what both teams are going to be running now outside. They're swapped. It's going to be Phase 2 in the defense, Legion on the attack. And this is what I was hoping to see from Legion, something a lot more DPS heavy. Now, they can still swap. You can never trust an offense. But I do think this is still potentially playing to their strengths a little bit more. Meanwhile, you look at Phase 2, and we're starting to enter into clockwork territory here.
So Phase 2, with this triple DPS setup and also running the Mercy Batiste, it's full sustain the dive time. With Peak on the Mei, it means that it's tough for Legion to have an effective dive against this because you have Immortality Field, Wall, Freeze that you have to deal with. But one thing that this comp is relatively weak to is the poke. And I think that's something that's interesting to see the Batiste use, is that with poke, if Legion takes a while to engage, it means that Nishik will have Amplification Matrix. It's a very fast-building ult. It's almost like a nano in terms of the effectiveness and how you want to utilize it against comps.
So Legion, they see the Clockwork-esque setup is in play, and they're going to be going to double sniper with the Baptiste of their own.
So Legion want to play the bunker game here with a double sniper. Try to trade out these picks. They do have less overall sustain, a little bit less damage due to the fact that Mercy can just damage boost C18 peeking on the flank. And phase 2, they should just look to not even really try to trade out here. They should just poke. Just poke as Legion enter, and that's exactly what they do, and they find an early frag on a stand 1, which is a very important pick too.
You get the Orisa down, that essentially eliminates the rest of the push. You don't have the shield to cover things, and especially against an Ashe that's so good at poke damage, you have to give it maximum respect.
Dalton finding 2. I mean, the res comes out to Nishik, but they're still going to lose Socks there as well. Dalton finding the opening frags here for Legion to still enter this point. Right now for phase 2, they can still play slow. They're building towards that bomb, building towards the amplification matrix. I mean, Pika actually really close to a blizzard as well. The right click's getting lots of value.
Dalton rotating around, about to have some very good sight lines. As soon as the wall goes away, phase 2, do or die, and well, they chose die. Orisa immediately picked off. Legion well on their way to dominating point A. Phase 2 can still come out here, but if they invest ults, if they stagger onto the point now, this would be incredibly bad for them. But they're still gonna go for it. They drop it. Doom Fist directly in. They go for the Blizzard. But Dalton and Water not having too much of it. Pika though, getting some on the point. A10 making a bit of room. Phase 2. They fought this back to a degree. This is winnable for sure.
Dalton still just hammering away from these flanks, finding left there. Even with the Immortality Fold now, there's no way that phase 2 really wins this. Legion, their point presence is just too much. They did buy some valuable time though. And Legion don't have a lot of ults to snowball. They'll have the Dragon, they'll come be close to a Supercharger, but not a lot of ults just to finish. Especially when you look at phase 2 getting close as A10 swaps Reaper into this. This is an interesting choice considering they don't have a speed boost. And they don't even have an amplification matrix or anything like that. I mean, he's going to probably look for the flanks here, try to find Wolf or maybe stand 1.
Tell me what you really think about Reaper. We had this conversation earlier today.
I think he's definitely not the hero play as of right now. But if they can play around a Supercharger, Reaper can be very aggressive. They have that Immortality Field to give him some of that value.
Shield pressure coming on down. Yeah, it's going to compensate with the Supercharger, but Dalton again finds another. It's been the Dalton show for the last little while here, and oh!
And Reaper doing about as much as I expected there.
That's the Reaper, the classic. Meanwhile, Dalton laying in the damage from the side, gets the Bay. Dalton just can't be stopped. Oh no, flanking Torbjorn, the hammer, it might be coming out!
The hammer's out, but it's not going to be the hammer that finishes them. Right now, phase 2 fighting for the lives of Sock. He finds Luddy as well. A10, he's there. He removes stand 1. And maybe spoke too soon about the Reaper.
Was it the Reaper or was it the Torb?
It was the Torb. It was the Torb.
From the flank.
The reality is that without Socks finding those picks, getting the pocket from left there, there's no way that A10 is able to find the opening. So denying that push, no ticks given for Legion. Legion, they may make some swaps here. It looks like they are. They're going to put Rolf onto the Ana. Play a little bit slower here. Versus the Reaper, I think the Ana is a better pick because now Reaper really only has one target it can effectively challenge, which is stand 1.
Goodbye.
And bye.
Dalton just turns the corner, immediately devastates Reaper. Again, this is kind of what we expect when Reaper gets played.
Look at Sox. He actually gets the Immortality Field. He's playing here in the corner. A lot of damage given.
Reaper's down again!
Oh, A10, please. Please get off this hero.
Reaper, please swap. Dalton just continuing to punish. Email with the bomb over the top. A10 still on the Reaper.
Please!
Down again!
Please!
Down again! Dalton just throws Reaper after Reaper into the dumpster.
However, Legion still are not having a lot of point presence, even despite Dalton continually dumpstering A10. There is no point presence there, and the thing about Legion is that they actually need to win the fight on point. They need to get some cap time.
Well, A10's back onto the point. Dalton's looking for a multi-core in.
Oh, he did it. Revenge.
The revenge is there, even though it's about 90% damage done from the hot foot, courtesy of Socks. Phase 2, gonna hold here again, and maybe have been too rough on Reaper.
No. Absolutely
I mean,
not.
just because.
Absolutely not.
Just because.
Ooh, Sox, he gets the hammer kill.
He's going on in. Reaper versus Hanzo. Down goes Water.
Oh, there it is. Those stats, they're being padded, boys. Those stats are being padded for the Reaper.
The Death Blossom's ready.
I really think Legion here, I mean, they're going to commit on this composition now because they have the supercharger, so they're definitely going to commit one more time. But so far, the double sniper just hasn't really gotten them the value that they need. Dalton, he's finding continuous frags, but his team's getting run over here a bit. They're losing the shield war continuously, but now Emil is going to go hog, which I think actually fits a lot better in this composition. The D.Va sort of just has to deal with the Mei, has to deal with the Torb. It's a really tough time for D.Va to find a lot of value here, and I think the hog fits a lot better.
But how do they deal with Spinny Top Man, who's about to go spinny?
Oh, you know, they sleep, they hook him, they shoot him. There's a lot of options.
Truly, all these ways to counter Death Blossom, but he's going straight in. No fear!
Woo!
Teleport Death Blossom!
The Immortality Field there as well. Actually, incredible synergy. We talked about how the Immortality Field can give Reaper a little bit more of that survivability that he needs.
Who's memeing now, Avast? Who's memeing now?
Hey, you know what? They're making it work, Phase 2. You're making me eat my words here. And Legion just cannot, really, as of right now, have really not been able to deal with the synergy. Even this next fight, they use the supercharger here. I think they just need to make a swap, maybe even go dive, a full dive or a 3-3. That's exactly what they appear to be doing now. Is Dalton going to stay on this? No, he's going to go Sombra. It's still a little too late almost, I would say. Less than a minute 40 on the clock for Legion. They have no ults besides the Nano. They're going to have to come into Phase 2 with the Amplification Matrix with the Torbolt very soon.
I mean, the problem is if they don't win the next fight, then it's in drawable territory, which isn't really where anyone wants to go. Phase 2, holding here, back in the point. Certainly in a better spot. It's going to take at least a fight for Dalton to get EMP. Application Matrix going to be dropped early as Legion try to move on forward.
And look at Sox. He's just playing the Immortality Field. I like how split they're playing there. With the Blizzard, this will definitely be finishing it off.
Well, the ice is done. The fire's going to be ready for the next fight. Phase 2, they repel Legion. And now Legion looking at just getting point B to force a draw. And A10's looking for adventure.
Wolfie solo. The bubble not able to save him. A10, he's still going.
Can't be stopped.
I mean, he really can't be stopped. He's going to drop a quick tactical crouch and head on out of there. And this is tough for Legion. They don't have the EMP yet. They don't have any defensive ults either. No support ults to enter the point. And they're going to be walking into a supercharger, which already by itself can just completely stop, tear through the tank line for Legion. And they have the zoning ult of the Torb. So it's tough for them to even set up the engage at all. They can't play that slow because they're going to get run into Dan's supercharger.
Death Blossom about to be up. Jokes aside, the last setup for it was quite good. Death Blossom ready, A10, floated to the back line. Here comes the Death Blossom once more, takes down the Ana. And it's effective, A10 with 3! Reaper, the resurgence is here. Dalton no longer able to headshot him. And that is Phase 2, roaring back here on Paris, defying the Legion, reversing course. We got a series on our hands.
They made me eat my words, and I think most importantly, the way they did it is that they played Baptiste, a really effective style of Baptiste. I think the one problem with Reaper is that if he doesn't get bubbles or shields, it's tough for him to survive the aggression that he needs. But the Immortality Field, along with the Pocket from Nishik, means that he can do all those things. They use the halts effectively from Dan. So Reaper, they made it work. I mean, good job, Phase 2. Good job. They made it work.
Also, Phase 2, they kept the faith. Because you think back to when the Reaper came out, I mean, all the memes were being justified as it was just A10 goes out, A10 gets shot, A10 goes out, and it was 3 repetitions of Dalton just sending him immediately back to spawn. But Phase 2, they go, no, we believe in Reaper. We know this can work. And hey, what do you know? It did. It's 1-1 here at the half. We'll be back in just a few minutes.